Wow, what a game at Anfield. I'm exhausted. Liverpool won, Arsenal won. Welcome to the Latte Firm for a quick reaction video on a thrilling draw at Anfield. Spoil shared, point shared, just energy shared. I feel mentally spent, ladies and gents, boys and girls. What a game, but a good result, I think, for Arsenal. Welcome. If you're tuning in for the first time, please do subscribe to the content, like the video, get involved in the chat. Really helps the channel. Lots of content to come still over the festive period. But the points were split today by Liverpool and Arsenal, both of whom had the chance of going top in time for Christmas. Now, going into the game, I was a mess of emotions. I was excited, I was nervous, I was a little bit optimistic given the lineup that I thought we were going to play, but I was terrified at the same time because of Klopp's rallying call in midweek. And of course, Anfield is Anfield, and we've been to Anfield now 10 times in the Premier League prior to today, and um, lost 7 of those and drawn 3 of those since we last won there. And so it's been a bit of a nemesis for us. And to go there and to put in a performance, especially after last season, the way that we, kind of conceded at the end, crumbled at the end. A lot of, ghosts in the closet, as it were, that we just needed to kind of get over. Here we are. Let's start with the starting lineup, courtesy of Arsenal.com. So as you can see, we were held at Anfield and we played the same starting 11 for the 3rd game in a row, which was a good thing after the dominating and brilliant performance against Brighton last weekend. I thought, this was the strongest that we could have gone. I've still got that thing about the goalkeeper, but, let's forget that aside. Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko. Ben White doesn't quite look to his best yet. He still feels like he's playing at sort of 60, 70%. I think he's managing an injury or managing some sort of a condition at the moment. And you can tell because he's not making those overlapping runs as often. He's just not 100%. It's clear he's not running at full speed either. So something just to keep an eye on. Saliba, absolutely sensational today. Brilliant performance from Saliba, deservedly man of the match on Sky Sports. And Gabriel, who we'll talk about in just a moment, the rough, rugged, colossal defender, got his first league goal of the season to send us 1-0 up. Zinchenko's coming for a lot of stick. Now, the goal and so many attacks came down our left-hand side. Look, it's a high-risk, high-reward game. We know what he's like on the ball. We know what he can do in terms of contributing to our build-up and the way that we play, tucking into midfield and inverting and creating that overload and really helping us dominate and take control of games. But going the other way, he is a bit of a mess. But that is just the way that Mikel wants this team to play. Declan Rice in midfield. Again, another great performance from Big Deckers. Havertz and Odegaard playing their part with Saka, Martinelli and Jesus up top. First time in a while I've looked at the bench and thought, we're a bit short of options here. Now, listen, we're missing 1 or 2 really key players. Thomas Partey comes to mind straight away. I know he's been frustrating with his injuries, but if he can get fit for the second half of the season, come back from AFCON, if we can get 12, 15 games from Partey in this run-in, he could be a massive difference for Arsenal in the second half of the season. But yeah, look, I mean, Ramsdale, Cedric, Kivior, Jorginho, Elneny, none of those guys you'd really fancy to come on at Anfield. Smith Rowe looked a bit hit and miss recently. Reece Nelson just can't seem to buy game time at the moment. Trossard, who did come on for Martinelli, I thought that was a really odd substitution, particularly because I thought Martinelli was looking really dangerous. And unless he was tired or unless maybe at that moment Mikel wanted a bit more control of the ball because Martinelli is just, up and go. And Trossard likes to hold on to the ball a bit. His ball control is very, very good. And Nketiah, of course, he came on for the dying stages as well. I look at that bench and think maybe, just maybe we need 1 or 2 more. And of course, it did end 1-1. We had an electric start, ladies and gents, boys and girls. I thought, the crowd were up for it, obviously. Jurgen making that rallying call in the week. And we had the perfect start. Odegaard whipping in a free kick. Gabriel just onside, rightfully onside, towering header, and Alisson caught flat-footed, and it kind of sort of looped over Alisson. Looked a bit odd, but when the ball went into the back of the net, the celebrations from the gargantuan centre back, and Arsenal fans absolutely nuts. I was screaming in my living room. Kids thought something serious was happening, and of course it was something serious because we went 1-0 into the lead. at Anfield. But it was only a few minutes later, about 25 odd minutes later, Liverpool got into their sort of groove and they kept playing that ball over the top down the left-hand side. And this time it was Trent who pinged it over. And Mo Salah, as much as he's buried that finish, we probably could have done a bit better defensively. Look, Zinchenko, we know he's not the best defensive left back. I completely understand that. But even then, I thought he was quite poor in the 1v1. I don't think he makes a mistake. I don't think it's an error. I just think it's too easy for Mo Salah to cut back inside on his left, and then, he's unleashed a shot into the roof of the net. No one's saving that. So 1-1, and difficult to kind of disagree that Liverpool deserved that. I think they probably did deserve to get back in the game. It could have been a penalty actually just before Mo Salah's goal. Odegaard handballing. You can see on the picture there, sort of tripping. Listen, on some days I can understand why that would be given. I'm very, very happy that it wasn't given today. I think Odegaard knows that he's made a bit of a mistake. I think the hand does go towards the ball, albeit with the slip. Very, very lucky today, I think. But listen, 1-1 at halftime. I wasn't enjoying the game at any moment. Like, even at 1-0, I thought, oh God, there's another 85 minutes plus injury time of this to go. And you keep sort of fluctuating between, I love this game, I hate this game. I love this game, I hate this game. And it just wasn't a very pleasant experience. But at 1-1, you take a breather. It's high risk, high reward from Arsenal. We made so many mistakes where we just invited Liverpool onto us. The first 15 minutes of that second half, Liverpool came flying out the blocks. I think Gary Neville said in commentary, we lost the ball in our final defensive third 4 times. Liverpool pressed us, forced us into errors, won the ball off our back four. And there's a moment where you're sort of thinking to yourself, what are we doing? Why are we passing it around so short, trying to dribble our way through, really intense presses? And they smelt blood. And I think maybe Jurgen kind of thought that as well, because he made some changes that kind of disrupted the flow of the game for them. And then from about 64, 65, we started getting into control of the game. We started playing our ball. We started getting into a rhythm again. 1 or 2 opportunities in that second half where the ball was drilled across the 6-yard box or just in front of the 6-yard box, and no one really making that darting run into the back post to poke it home. Freddie Ljungberg coming to mind. Just listen, probably the fair result. There could have been goals. Liverpool, of course, breaking away from a corner. I mean, that was just calamitous. Odegaard and Zinchenko, I think, clashing, and Salah racing away, and Liverpool tearing up the pitch like the Red Arrows. Big Declan Rice trying his best to kind of keep the ball off. Salah plays the ball into Trent, and at that moment, your heart sinks. You're thinking, right, this is it, back of the net, 2-1. But he hit the bar. Luckily for us, I think the ball just bobbled as he made contact with it. A terrible pitch, got to say, with Anfield. But we got away with one there. Look, it's a good point at the end of the day. These two, I mean, they were all lovey-dovey at the end of the game. But it's a point gained, I think, for Arsenal. It's a tough fixture. We know that. Liverpool are a problem this season. They are chance creation monsters. And I've got to say, I think we controlled them pretty well today. They were reduced to an expected goal of less than 1, which is by some margin the lowest they've had this season at home. And on paper, it's a really tricky game. It's Anfield, it's Liverpool, it's a competitor. We've got a point. Disappointed with certain aspects of our performance. We've gone 1-0 up, couldn't really see it out. Defensively, we invited too much trouble by playing too risky football at the back. They looked for that long ball time and time again, and Zinchenko maybe could have done better on once or twice, 1 or 2 other occasions. And yeah, there's certain things that we just kind of need to think about when we get to these big games, big stages. But this is what Mikel wants to do. He wants to go to games and take the games to them. He knows that Zinchenko is high risk, high reward. And today it could have cost us, but we've gotten away with a point. I'll take that all day long. I'm exhausted. I mean, that sort of game really takes it out on you. And I'm just glad that it's over. We don't have to visit Anfield again. Well, we've got them again at the Emirates in the FA Cup in just a couple of weeks' time. And they come back to the Emirates in the league game in early February. Let's just chill. So we are top going into Christmas. I'm not sure that's a good thing. I think Squawker had a tweet earlier today or yesterday showing those who've been top at Christmas Day, actually the vast majority of them go on to lose the league title. But listen, I'm not going to believe into any of that stuff. I think when you get a chance to get a point at Anfield, if you get a chance to go top at Christmas, you take it, you build on it. Manchester City, of course, gaining. Villa drawing yesterday. Arsenal, Liverpool dropping points both today. And City, of course, now have a game in hand and they can move 3 points behind us. So look, it's shaping up to be quite the Barclays title race. But there we are. Let me know your thoughts. What did you think of the game today? What did you think of performances? Men of the match, Saliba, rightfully man of the match. Rice was brilliant as well today. But Zinchenko is going to take a bit of stick. And Ben White is another concern for me. And actually, I think maybe January, the priority has to be a defender. What do you think? We'll be back with a late night latte tomorrow, Christmas Eve, to round up all of the Barclays action. But if you're watching this before sort of 9 o'clock in the UK on Saturday night, hop over to X for a post-match phone-in. Until next time, bye for now.